Welcome to the SBC Post Game Show live from Summer League. I'm your host, Trent Washington, and today I'm here with John and Wilton. The final score, we're going to be hopping straight into the Sacramento Kings and the Chicago Bulls, as the final score was 107-99, as the Chicago Bulls outscored them in the fourth quarter, 30-20. Now, my question is to you, John. How overall did you feel about the Chicago Bulls in today's game?
Absolutely, man. I mean, overall, the Chicago Bulls had a great team effort, man. A lot of players that were contributing, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the man of the hour, the man of the game, Javon Freeman Liberty. We're talking about a 6'4" combo guard. He led the Bulls in scoring and had 28 points. Also led the Bulls in assists with 6 assists. I just love how aggressive he was. When you look at the stat line, he got to the foul line 7 times, so you know he wasn't complacent. He wasn't just sticking with those outside shots. And he was really getting whatever he wants, man. We were watching the game. He would come off those high pick and rolls, snake the screen, pull up into a jumper, come down the lane, a floater. Like, it was very impressive. So Javon's my #1 standout player. Absolutely.
He definitely was. And Wilton, my question to you, who else stood out to you in today's performance for the Chicago Bulls?
In addition to Julian, I would definitely have to mention Adama Sanogo. You're talking about a guy who came from Connecticut last year off winning the national championship, undrafted, by the way. But his performance today, you're talking about a guy, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 1 rebound away from a double-double. So this is a guy, you know he can protect the rim. We've seen that before. He did some of that today. And also, he's being able to show his offensive ability, which he did today as well. And then also, somebody else I want to mention, Julian Phillips. He was a big-time contributor for Tennessee last year, somebody that can step up right away and have some offensive scoring as well. So those are my 2 players for sure.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. And those 2 players played a huge factor of why they won today's game. And that's the main reason why they're 2-1, as Liberty is their leading scorer so far for Summer League. Right. Now, going to the loser side for the Sacramento Kings. Right. They're 1-2 in Summer League. And my question is to you, John. We asked about the Chicago Bulls, but how you feel about the Sacramento Kings? What stood out to you today? And did you have a player that's played good, or did you have a player that was a huge disappointment that you expected a little bit more from today?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I got to kick it off with the man of the hour for the Kings, man. Jordan Ford finished the game 25 points, 8 assists, 56% from the field. But what I'm mesmerized about is that 57% from the three-point line. He was another player that was really controlling the game. We talked about his performance in that first half. He really helped the Kings to be able to get out ahead early. Also, another player that he's a 6'1", small guard. You would think he'd have trouble getting into the paint, right? That was not a problem for him. He was getting past his defenders, either going up with his floaters or hitting his shooters in the perimeter. Just very impressive from Jordan Ford, absolutely.
I agree, man. Jordan Ford went undrafted in 2020 and is a top scorer for the Stockton Kings for the G League team, and he's trying to work himself back up to get an NBA spot again. And with these type of performance, people are watching, scouts are watching, and has a good opportunity. Going to Wilton, outside of, Jordan Ford, who else stood out to you, and what was the main reason, the Sacramento Kings did not pull out this win today?
I think you have to look at it more so from the standpoint that Chicago played a really good game offensively. So I granted, Sacramento lost the game, but 2 players that really stood out for Sacramento, Keon Ellis. You're talking about a guy who had 19 points, 7 rebounds. He went 3 of 5 from three-point range, and that really helped Sacramento stay within the game, because you're talking about a Chicago team that had the lead at halftime against Sacramento, and this is a Chicago team that had given up. They had pretty much given up that lead at the end of the third quarter. Sacramento went on that long run in the fourth quarter to take the lead, but Chicago ultimately got the victory. But then also, when you look at Mike Daum, we were talking about this before coming on set. Like, this is a guy who has had a phenomenal impact. You're talking about a guy who had 22 points and he had 7 rebounds. So I'm really looking to see what he can do, especially considering that, this is a Sacramento team that's not necessarily big in the interior. So this could be someone who could be potentially competing for a spot on the roster.
I agree, man. And also, for the Chicago Bulls, our final thoughts. One player that I've been watching is Dalen Terry. He was drafted last year. Did not play much games. I believe it was about 36 games, only 5 minutes. Right. He was not a lottery pick, but he was top first-round pick. And I expected a little bit more, another big leap for Dalen Terry, especially when you're going against guys that are trying to perform and trying to get in the league and, do their thing. So how did you feel about Dalen Terry's performance today? Was it overwhelming? Was it high expect? Like, what was it that you've seen today from him?
I mean, Dalen, the first thing I would say is you need to have your second-year players who've had spots on that actual official roster. You need to have them to lead in the summer league. You need to have them to be able to lead by example, be aggressive, be looking to score. I think it's absolutely really unacceptable when you have Dalen Terry. He's supposed to be the guy leading that team. Only takes 7 shots.
Right.
7 shots and 1 3. Him and Javon are supposed to be the 2 guys leading that team, and there was times I'd see Javon out there trying to get Dalen's head up, get him to have his head up and, be more aggressive, looking to score.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree. I think we all seen Dalen Terry had his up and downs.
Right.
Offensively, he wasn't looking for the shot. He was mainly trying to run the offense. He was doing a lot of little things to help his team win. And, yes, they did come out with the victory. So, hopefully, more in the summer league, we see him be a little bit more offensively. Like, get some buckets, man, because all that other stuff, it's good for the team, man,
Right.
but you got Billy Donovan as your coach. And
Exactly.
we seen him out there today, and he don't play.
Exactly.
So
this is the time for him to be aggressive. If it was ever a time for him to be aggressive and make a move and make his point in summer league, it's now.
Absolutely.
I agree, man. I agree. So that's going to be the final for the Chicago Bulls and the Sacramento Kings. Final score was 107-99. And have a great night, guys. Peace.